today we're here to discuss with you guys Season 2, Episode 1, Bless This House.
Yeah, and we'll get into the character introductions as usual. So
First off is Mike Burkett, Sarah Burkett's long-lost father. She hasn't seen him in about very long time, well over a decade, and we'll get into that more.
Yep, and then we have Martha Sache. She is an elder, and she performs a sweetgrass blessing on
Ceremony, a blessing ceremony on Michelle's house, yeah.
Alright, so let's get into the summary.
So, Michelle wakes up and Hannah's gone.
Yeah, she's kind of alarmed, kind of leaves right away to look for her. And then Eric, he's trying to interrogate some kids like Sarah's putting a cast on one of them. They're like, well, not kids, but
they're
young adults.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not kids.
And they were doing some kind of water sport, and one of them got hurt. They're not really clear on what happened.
No, and you don't see them again throughout the episode, actually.
Yeah, this is it.
I just realized that. I, marked that down, and then I'm like, wait, we never saw them again after that. But yeah, Sarah puts one of them in a cast.
Yeah, and then Sarah's dad is there right afterwards, and it's kind of an awkward first reunion between him and Sarah, obviously.
Yeah, well, Eric even thought that he was with them.
Yeah. So, and then Michelle finds Hannah at Peter's and is mad that Peter didn't send her home.
Yeah, because this has been happening constantly, where she just won't stay there because, remember, the place burned down, so Michelle's got a brand new place, and they left. We'll kind of explain this because they left it where they didn't explain what happened with Michelle's house, kind of not really at all. So you get left off where it's like, okay, they are saying they really don't want the RCMP to pay for it, they'll even go for a loan. But in the end, the RCMP paid for it, and she's just a little bit out of town, technically, so that's creating part of the problem as well.
Yeah, so now that we've got to the bottom of that.
It didn't make sense to me when I first watched it. I was like, they're missing, why did the RCMP pay for it? But anyways, they never explained it.
So then we've got another new building in town.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one's in town, the rec center, and that's put up, and then TV is kind of expressing that he's pissed off by it, saying that they're putting it up as an insult, saying they've got nothing else to do or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Then there's a very awkward exchange between Sarah and Mike as they talk together one-on-one there for the first time. It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah. And then Michelle is begging Rosie for macaroni salad.
And she was even asking Peter to get Ellen to make macaroni salad.
Yeah, she's obsessed with macaroni salad in this episode.
Even though Ellen was just up all night with the kids, Peter had just said, she's like, make sure she makes double.
Yeah, she's really losing it. She yells at Jerry too.
Yeah. Because to stay out of her business.
Yeah. Okay, so then Sarah is not too thrilled when Eric offers his place to
Mike,
obviously, because she obviously is trying to avoid Mike, and probably thinks because her and Eric are somewhat involved, or we don't really know, but they're seem to be somewhat involved still, that will make Mike give him an in, I guess, to seeing her more.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why there's no place to stay is obviously those men have taken up all the rooms. So there was the room beside the boiler or whatever.
Generator, I think.
Whatever. Like I said. And yeah, it was apparently not the greatest room, so Eric gave him a free room.
So, TV wants to spray paint the rec center.
Bertha's not in, neither's Joey.
Yeah, so he's the lone protester.
Mike is making dinner for Sarah and Eric on Friday. He's like, okay, it's like happening.
Yeah.
And Eric's like, okay. Pretty much like, literally.
Yeah, I think Eric's kind of seeing that this is not going well, and that
Mike's a very strong personality, and I just don't think that's the best way to handle the situation he's in.
He seems like he thinks he can somewhat shoehorn himself back into his daughter's life.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the way Mike specifically handled this situation? After that happened, Sarah and Eric kind of have a talk about it, and it's really awkward. She's not thrilled.
Yeah, Eric's trying to get them to make up a little, but it's very clear that Sarah's not right.
And so then we flash to Sarah and Michelle talking at the health center, where Mike walks in, he meets Michelle, and here we get to see one of the first real glances as to Sarah and Michelle's kind of friendship, and then he forces pretty much her to agree to dinner.
Yeah, he very forcefully, says.
He's like, your clinic's closed at 5 or whatever. Oh, well, you don't have anything to do. Okay, dinner. You have no excuse.
Yeah, so he's kind of got this attitude like he's not going to take no for an answer. So then Peter, Eric, and Leon talk, and they're talking about TV wrecking the rec center, and TV has to paint it. That's
what they had ended up making his punishment, is that he had to paint it. And Gord is mentioned now. We haven't heard about him since the beginning episodes of season 1, the first half. So it was, to me, I love the little tidbits. It was just fun.
Yeah, and then Mike, he talks to Eric about Sarah and Sarah's mom. So you kind of get his side of the story, I guess you could say. So then, and then Michelle vents to Eric about everything with the macaroni salad and Hannah's hormones and everything. So she's having a rough time this episode. You can really see Michelle, like, some kind of stress is kind of getting to her.
Yeah, well, she's like, she just got like this brand new house. She's trying to settle in and everything. And then she's got to deal with Hannah settling in, who's like freaking disappearing all the time.
And the big macaroni salad shortage of 1993.
Well, not just that. She's got to deal with the plant, like getting the whole thing ready. And you'll see, there's real issues with the macaroni salad later.
Yeah.
And then yeah, she's got a lot on her plate this episode.
So then we go to dinner.
But not macaroni salad.
No. So then we go to dinner with Mike and Sarah and Eric, and we get a little story of Mike talking about making cheesecake for her 10th birthday.
It was a very bittersweet moment. It was short-lived. It was sweet and then short-lived.
Yeah, and then
she cried because it wasn't cheddar.
Yeah, so then she says, and then 2 weeks later, you walked out on us. So she basically says, that's it, I've had enough, and she walks out of the dinner.
She cleans up her dishes and leaves.
Yeah, so that's, pretty rough and awkward moment. And then Eric's just sitting there going, what do I do now?
Yeah, well, him and Mike, they talk quick, but then really he just goes to check on Sarah, and he's like, well, Mike's fine.
And
then Michelle talks to Elsie, and they talk kind of about Hannah and everything that's going on. You know, Michelle's kind of just lost. And Elsie mentions a possibility of a sweetgrass ceremony. Michelle even asks her if it's too late, and Elsie's like, no.
And then TV and Peter confront everyone. TV leaves pissed.
And he's really mad at Joey, like, especially.
Nobody backs him up. He's trying to portray what he did as a protest. I think people are looking at it more like vandalism. So, and then Willie, we find out the real source of the anguish of the potato salad.
I think macaroni salad.
Macaroni salad. He's all like, he's complaining to Michelle that, you know, the dinner just isn't the same without the macaroni
Yeah,
salad.
he kept going on and on and on about it. Like, he wouldn't stop. It's very passive aggressively, but very bitchy about it.
Yeah.
But like, that's how you can expect the rest of the town probably reacted too. They seem like very obsessed with that macaroni salad, and that's probably why Michelle was that crazy, because she knew if she didn't get it, she was gonna have to deal with all the complaints.
And then Joey and TV have a kind of a little confrontation.
And TV takes it out on Bertha and says, "Screw you."
Yeah, we hear that a lot from him.
She tried, well, Bertha is like literally being it and didn't do anything. He's like, "Screw you."
And Mike and Sarah dance. Mike upsets Sarah talking about her mother.
Mike just doesn't want to leave things alone. Sarah's like, "Okay, you know, we can, you know, do this, but, you know, I don't want to talk about the past." But then, you know, what does he do? He just keeps it up and he keeps shoving it down her throat, and within like 2 seconds, I really don't know what else he expected other than her to be upset with him at the end of this. Like, he just keeps pushing her. Yeah,
even when he gets a little bit of an inroad, he's just like ramming himself in there, and he makes a lot of comments that escalate the situation worse. So.
Well, that's my opinion at least.
Joey and Leon talk on ideas about
what's going on with him.
Sorry, it's Joe and Leon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I wrote Joey. That was my mistake. But yeah, it was Joe.
Teleprompter error.
It is a projector.
So then Jerry's gossiping as usual, throwing out his theories.
But surprisingly, Harris isn't backing up the gossip. Now, usually Harris is deep down there backing up the gossip. And Harris is just like, it's her business, Jer.
It's not about Eric.
Yeah, but anything though, he's really into the gossip. But when it came to Sarah and her dad, he's like, it's her business, Jer.
Yeah.
Maybe that has to do with his own familial issues.
Possibly. So then Elsie corrects Joe
about where the trap line is. She doesn't technically correct Joe, but he was the one who had made the statement.
Corrects his story.
Yeah.
And then Jerry thinks that it's chocolate that's keeping
Hannah
up at night.
Because she had 4 chocolate bars just last week.
So he's got all the answers, right?
And then we see the lovely Martha Sache, our lovely elder of the town, does a beautiful sweetgrass ceremony throughout Michelle's home.
And Bertha confronts TV. He throws paint at her.
Yeah, and still she just like stands there, like doesn't even, she just like blinks, doesn't faze him.
Yeah, and then she calls him out, and then she helps him, and that's, you know, we kind of see an insight into how strong of a, how loyal of a person she is, I guess, right? Like she's
what
mad at him.
What was that statement she had said about the friends? you don't bully your friends or whatever, and you help them or whatever. And then she picks up the paint brush.
So she's mad at him, but she's still willing to help him, right? So.
And even though, like, throughout this episode, all she's been doing is being nice and being there for him, and all he's been doing is dumping his crud on her, and still she is wonderful.
Yeah, but she doesn't let him walk all over him either. She always tells him how it is, which is cool about Bertha. Right?
Yes.
So then Mike confronts Sarah about her mom.
The lovely Lori.
And then...
who played, Bertha. No,
yeah. Okay.
Sarah's mom. Sorry.
Yeah,
Go.
Talking about the previous comment. So Mike confronts Sarah about her mom and says, you don't know how, or she says, you don't know how to love. And
yeah, and then, oh my gosh, guys, he just, whoo! He just, whoo! I'm just like, damn, once he said this.
Yeah, he says, that's what your mother said about you. And, I mean, this was the kind of thing we were talking about, like...
Mic drop.
Yeah, I
actually need that.
They were kind of like, already getting into it, and he just made it worse by doing that. So then Mike leaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, eventually, on the plane the next morning or hours, I don't know. Flash over.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what day it is right now because it's summer, right, and it's bright all the time.
Well, so it just like flashed to the next scene, so it could flash to next year for all we know.
So
it didn't, but I don't.
Hannah is missing, not at Peter's.
Yeah, this time they are freaking out, but she's safe and sound.
Yeah, they find her at the river, and they realize that it's the running water that she's under, wants
like
the sound of.
I think she's under the stairs of
the house. Somebody's house that's near the river. So then...
over by her, near her old bedroom it was.
Mm-hmm. So then Sarah's crying. Eric and Sarah talk about Mike and him leaving.
And eventually it just leads to this huge explosion from Sarah.
Yeah, and I would say this is almost like a mental or nervous breakdown that she has.
Yeah.
Like she really just loses it, and it's
at the same time, like Eric's really pushing though.
Well,
like
that
he
has
really
nothing
wants
to do with Eric. I'm not talking about him. I'm saying like she has a breakdown.
Yeah.
Like this I think is where she really starts to go nuts, because this like really affects.
Yeah, well, I think. I'll say it in like 2 seconds. So, Eric confirms to Michelle their relationship is over. 2 seconds later, they're talking, and it's like, okay, like it's over, it's done with. It's like for good, and this is what this really gets me. And whoo, Tracy Cook, we love you. But this like where she's just looking at herself in the mirror, it's really powerful. Like it's like the simplest thing, but it was really powerful, and you could tell already there's something messed up in her psyche.
Yeah, she does. Tracy Cook is a very good.
Sorry, I'm like crying for some reason.
Tracy Cook is a very good physical actress, as well as good at reading lines. She's good at at a lot of scenes throughout the series, and kind of displaying her emotions by just making a certain facial expression or something.
Yes, Tracy Cook's character Sarah Burkett gets to go through such amazing moments of transformation that you get to really see her acting ability. But yeah, it was a great episode. But that
awkward,
moment at the mirror at the end was. So next episode, season 2, episode 2.
Yep, Ciao Baby. It's gonna be
with the Sangalis.
Yeah, the Svengalis make their first appearance. Any of you have watched the show before, you know who we're talking about.
Otherwise, no spoilers are coming from our lips. Okay, so we will do our season 2 episode 1 question that we had on the Facebook page. What do you guys think of Mike Burkett. So he was Sarah's estranged father, right? Is Sarah too hard on him in this episode was our question. So we had lots of great answers. Shirley Hamilton thought not at all, especially with her history with him. Frank thought maybe a bit. Some can forgive, but up to each. And then Linda, considering it's leading to her breakdown, it's not out of the ordinary. I find her character hard on Eric as well as everyone she corresponds with. I definitely like her character more during her breakdown and after. She was friendlier and fit in better. Amazing, good acting for Tracy. Well, pretty much we just had complimented Tracy on her acting there, but yeah. And Christian Edwards, again, had an amazing answer. This one was super long. I'm not going to get into it, but it was really good. Lots of great comments this episode, so keep to it. If you want to find out the results of our election, tune in. I'll have a short video posted on Facebook.
Yep. We'll be posting election results, and we promise there will be no recounts. No disputation of election results.
Okay, and you had another question, didn't you?
Okay, so the other question I had was, what do you guys think of Hannah? Have you ever experienced anything like that with, maybe yourselves as kids having trouble adjusting to a new home, or maybe your own kids? And what did you think of how Hannah had problems with it? So yeah, I guess that's it for our questions for this week. And yeah, tune in for our next video.